Suddenly, a shadowy figure appears, moving toward them across the water as they fought to keep their vessel afloat, battered by the violent storm that tossed them around. They squint, struggling to understand what they're seeing. Panic fills their hearts. "It's a ghost," someone cries out. But then, the figure speaks in a familiar voice through the storm. "Take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid." Then Peter shouts into the wind, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you on the water." And Jesus responds, "Come." With trembling legs, Peter steps out of the boat. His foot touches the waves, and miraculously, he stands. But as he feels the force of the wind and sees the towering waves, fear takes hold and he begins to sink. "Lord, save me," he cries. And immediately, Jesus catches him. "You of little faith," he says, "why did you doubt?" As they climb back into the boat, the storm stops and those on the boat worship Jesus. Suddenly, from the shadows, a crowd emerges. Soldiers armed and ready, torches blazing, led by Judas, one of Jesus' disciples. Judas steps forward and leans in to give a kiss of betrayal. And Jesus asks, "Judas, are you betraying the Son of Man with a kiss?" A ripple of shock and anger sweeps over the disciples. "Lord, should we strike with our swords?" someone shouts, hands gripping the handles of their swords. Then, in a flash of rage, Peter, driven by fierce loyalty, draws his sword. Without hesitation, he swings, the sound of metal slicing through the air, and in one brutal strike, it connects, cutting off the right ear of the high priest's servant. Blood spatters. The servant's ear, severed in a heartbeat. Chaos erupts. But before anyone can react, Jesus steps forward, saying, "No more of this." He reaches out, his hand gentle, and touches the wounded servant's ear. And as everyone watches, breathless, the ear is completely restored. The music, the laughter. It was a wedding in full swing. But suddenly, a quiet panic spreads. The wine is gone. In the crowd, one person knows who to turn to: Mary, the mother of Jesus. With a calm urgency, she approaches her son and says, "They have no more wine." But Jesus' response is unexpected. "Woman, what does this have to do with me? My hour has not yet come." Mary, undeterred, turns to the servants and says firmly, "Do whatever he tells you." Nearby, 6 enormous stone jars sit. Jesus looks at them and says, "Fill the jars with water." The servants, puzzled but obedient, fill the jars to the brim. Then Jesus commands, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the feast." The room falls silent as the master lifts the cup to his lips. For a moment, time seems to stand still. Then, his eyes widen in shock. The water has turned into the finest wine he's ever tasted.